Hey, I'm Alex, and today we're going to work on the second problem of PSET 2 from CS50's Introduction to Programming with Python. So this problem is named Coke Machine. Let's go through the description real quick, and then we'll start working on the code. Suppose that a machine sells bottles of Coca-Cola or Coke for 50 cents and only accepts coins in these denominations: 25 cents, 10 cents, and 5 cents. In the file code coke.py, implement a program that prompts the user to insert a coin, one at a time, each time informing the user of the amount due. Once the user has inputted at least 50 cents, output how many cents in change the user is owed. Assume that the user will only input integers and ignore any integer that isn't an accepted denomination. Okay, so here's a demo that you can go through if you want. I have already set up my files. I've explained this in some other tutorials, so I'm going to skip this part now, and we can directly start coding, I believe. Okay, so the initial price of the Coke is 50 cents, right? And then the user is going to start inputting different coins in order to pay for this Coke. So we can set up a variable called amount due, which is going to have an initial value of 50 cents. We can also set up a list with the acceptable coins, right? Because they've explained that we only accept 25, 10, and 5 cents. So I can write coins or coins accepted, but I'm going to go with the shorter version for now. And we're going to have a couple of options here. By the way, these square brackets indicate a list in Python. So here we can just write 5, 10, and 25. Is that right? Yes. Okay, so we only accept 5, 10, and 25 cents. All right, and then we need a kind of a loop which is going to iterate until the entire price of the cola is paid. So we can use a while loop. I believe it's going to be more convenient here, and we can say while the amount due is greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, it means that the user still has to pay some more until he's paid for the entire Coke, right? So while the amount due is greater than 0, what do we want to do? The first thing we would like to do here is print the amount due, which in the beginning is going to be 50 cents, right? So if you notice the demo, it always starts with the amount due. Okay, let's begin by printing this. So print. I usually use formatted strings in Python. So amount due is amount due. For instance, 50 cents or 25 cents or whatever. Okay. Then what would we like to do? Then we would like to prompt the user to enter an amount they're going to pay. So we can say input, and we can write some kind of a prompt for them. Let's see the prompt they've used here. The prompt is insert coin, colon. Okay, so insert coin, colon. And now, since we expect to receive 5, 10, or 25 cents, we would like to convert this to an integer, because if it's a string, we cannot then subtract or add anything, right? If we want to conduct any arithmetic operations, then we'll have to convert into an integer. And once the user has entered their answer, or the coin they're going to use, we would like to save or store their answer into a variable. So coin, the coin they've chosen, is the answer to this question. Okay. Once we have the coin, what are we going to do? Our first task is to check whether this is a valid coin, because if you remember, if we go back here, they've instructed us to ignore any integer that isn't an accepted denomination. So we need to have a new statement here. If, and now how can we check if this coin is valid? Well, the easiest way is to just say if the coin is in coins, which means take this coin, for instance 10 cents, and check if it's included in this list. If it is in this list, then it means it's valid, but if it's not valid, okay? So that's the strategy we're using here. So if the coin is included in this list, then it's valid. And we're going to accept it, so the amount due is going to decrease because the user has just passed us a coin and they've paid a portion of the price. So amount due minus equals coin. If the amount due was 50 cents and now they're paying 10 cents, then the new amount due is going to have a value of 40, right? Okay. And then, well, pretty much the only thing left to do is to take care of this last part. So once they have paid at least 50 cents, they want us to output how many cents in change the user is owed. So if we observe the demo here, the last time when they finally paid into our sum, we have this. Okay, I need to stop this. So when they finally paid into our price, we need to print change owed, and in this case it's 0 cents. So how can we do this? Once the entire loop is over, once they have finally paid at least 50 cents, we want to print change owed. And then how can we actually find the change? Well, the change is simply going to be the absolute value of amount due. And I'm going to explain this now, though it probably doesn't make much sense right now. But the thing is, after this while loop, the amount due can either be exactly 0 cents, if, for instance, they've directly paid two times 25 cents. It could either be exactly 0 cents, or it could be a negative value. So for instance, the initial value, the initial price is 50 cents. Let's imagine that the first time, actually, how can we do this? Let's imagine that the first time the user pays 25 cents. Then the user pays 10 cents, so that's in total 35 cents. And then they pay 25 cents more. So in total, that would be 60 cents, but the initial price was 50, right? So here, when we subtract 60 from 50, we're going to get minus 10. And the positive value of this minus 10 is exactly the change that we owe the user. So it's going to be 10 cents of change. That's why I'm using the absolute value here. If the amount due is minus 10, this means that the user has given us 10 cents more. So that is a change. And since we don't want to print minus 10 cents, we're using the absolute or the positive value of the amount. Okay, let's test this. I'm going to test only one example right now, but I encourage you to go through all of these to check exactly how they work. Let's try this one, or actually let's try this one, the one that I've just shown. Okay, so we can say Python coke.py. No such file. Were we supposed to... Oh, okay, I have not navigated to the right directory. Coke. And now we can run the same command, I guess. Okay. Amount due 50 cents. Now we enter 25. We're left to pay 25. Now we enter 10. We're left to pay 15 cents. And now if we try to enter 25... we are owed 10 cents of change, which is exactly what we had expected. Okay, I'm going to clear the terminal and I'm going to run check 50. And we can see that our solution has passed all of the tests. That was everything for this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful and I'm going to see you in the next one.